Have you been looking for a way to introduce your students to the importance of ownership, ideas, and property rights in the world of entrepreneurship? If so, this is your day to be inspired. Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through iNSPIRE Lesson 12, The Future of Capitalism. Through this lesson, your students will examine how capitalism is dependent on the protection of individual property rights, evaluate the importance of intellectual property protection commonly used by businesses, and demonstrate how a product can be evaluated based on its value and uniqueness. I'm James Wilcox, and this is iNSPIRE, an entrepreneurship education series powered by Economics Arkansas. America, the great experiment and the land of opportunity. As we consider the future of our nation, we can't help but reflect on the free market system that has created both the opportunity and the engine to get us to where we are today. Since the very founding of our country, the United States has proven the significance of individual property rights. By definition, capitalism exists where individuals own resources needed to create goods and services. But what if you couldn't own anything? What if everything instead belonged to the government? Farmers couldn't buy land, restaurants couldn't purchase equipment, buildings, or even ingredients. Using America's free market economy as a backdrop, this lesson focuses on a few key concepts, namely capitalism, intellectual property, and value. Every iNSPIRE lesson offers a modular approach to the content, allowing you to scaffold and to take a deeper dive into the key concepts as time and interest allow. For Lesson 1, the time required ranges from 12 minutes for the bell ringer to 37 minutes for the full lesson and extension activity, with the exception of a bag of candy or other similar small items that can be used for the main activity. All necessary materials are provided, including visuals, student handouts, links to online resources, and a detailed list of instructions. Before class begins, print team copies of Handout 1, Video Questions, Handout 3, Capital Idea, and Handout 4, I'm a Genius, I Think. Print individual copies of Handout 2, Capital Dash. And prepare your candy or substitute items by placing them all in a bowl or in an open bag. To set the stage for this lesson, show the short 6-minute video, This is Capitalism, found at thisiscapitalism.com. Once the video ends, ask or assign students to work together in teams of 3 to 4. Distribute a copy of Handout 1, Video Questions, to each team, and allow them 5 minutes to complete the questions together. The goal of this assignment is to help highlight the importance of systems that help protect individual property rights. The last question provides a great opportunity to debrief the teams. Do you think that the protection of our individual property rights is vital to the future of entrepreneurship in the United States? Why or why not? Answers will vary, but will likely include comments on the importance of property ownership as both a resource and an incentive for entrepreneurship. As time allows, offer students the opportunity to share their results. If you're just doing the bell ringer, you're done. But let's see how the mini lesson and extension activity continue to add value through a deeper dive. Using Visual 1, Definitions, review each definition. Explain that we will be considering the advantage that capitalism gives entrepreneurs and exploring the value of ideas and intellectual property. While the students are still reviewing the terms, toss all of the candy into the air and announce, "Go, grab as many as you can, but don't eat them yet." As a more subdued alternative, set the items on your desk and let the students know, first come, first served. But either way, don't let them eat the candy yet. Once the students are settled back into their seats, distribute a copy of Handout 2, Capital Dash, to each student. Greed. Just the mention of it makes people cringe with discomfort. When you practice a sport or any other skill, is it greed that drives your desire to excel? Or is it your competitive spirit? In a capitalistic economy like the United States, it is competition that pushes us to become the best version of ourselves, to improve and to innovate. It provides incentive to ultimately accomplish, individually and as a society, the unachievable. Capitalism is sort of like democracy, says John Hope Bryant. It's a horrible system except for every other system. Horrible? That statement sounds quite negative, but what does it actually suggest? Yes, capitalism is flawed. Power and privilege are abused at times. Capitalism is even accused of creating social inequality and injustice. In reality, it has proven an effective tool for combating these ills. In the words of American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson, doing well is the result of doing good. And that's what capitalism is all about. Consider the results from the capital dash activity and enter them on this page. Ask students to record the results for round 1 before proceeding. Allow 2 or 3 students to present their results back to the class. Answers will vary, but will probably include complaints on it being unfair. Perhaps the toss didn't quite reach the back of the room, or a student was stuck behind a desk. Some students may even express guilt that others didn't get as much. Don't worry yet about explaining what the candy represents. Now, at the risk of a classroom mutiny, inform your students that round 2 is going to require a complete reset. Ask them to send all of the candy back to the front of the room, and this time, distribute just 2 pieces of candy to each of the students. The goal for the round is equal distribution. Next, ask your students to record these new results under round 2 on handout 2 capital dash. Allow 2 or 3 students to present their results back to the classroom. Answers will vary, but may include frustration over losing what they had worked hard for, or delight at having gotten what they didn't work for at all. Emphasize that the goal of this activity was to demonstrate the difference between capitalism and socialism. While capitalism does have an unequal distribution of opportunities, socialism results in lower productivity and societal wealth because it removes the incentive for hard work and innovation. With students still in their teams, distribute a copy of handout 3, Capital Idea, to each team. During this activity on intellectual property, students will learn more about a few famous trade secrets and how they are actively protected. When we think about capitalism, property rights, or ownership, we might immediately picture physical capital. And while capital does include tangible items like factories, land, tools, and raw materials, it also includes intangible resources like ideas. Critics of capitalism claim that opportunities are limited to the wealthy. But perhaps this is due to a narrow interpretation of capitalism. Ideas have value too, and they are worth protecting. For example, Coca-Cola's famous secret formula is kept secure in a bank vault. Students will need to use the provided website in order to accurately complete this activity. An answer key is also provided in this lesson. Finally, Lesson 12 concludes with an optional extension activity on handout 4, I'm a Genius, I Think. This can be completed in class or as a homework assignment. What makes something valuable? Consider private jets, diamonds, time, or family. According to author and marketing specialist Seth Godin, scarcity is the only thing worth paying for. How does scarcity, our struggle to satisfy limitless wants with our limited resources, create value? In reality, value is subjective. Everyone perceives it differently. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we see it. To further complicate things, even our own perception is subjective. You might value a simple bottle of water at $1 as you shop at a discount store, $4 at an amusement park, or as priceless if you were stranded and lost in the desert. In the end, scarcity plays a huge role in the value that we place on things. Scarcity, however, does not guarantee that something will be valued. For example, we may never value things like toxic waste or pollution, regardless of how scarce they may be. As one of the leading voices for Apple in the 1980s, Guy Kawasaki gained a lot of experience in launching new ideas and showcasing their value. He developed the following matrix as a result, identifying the relationship between an idea's value and its uniqueness. Put simply, the most successful products aren't just valuable or just unique. They're both. If we create something that is unique but lacks value, no one's going to buy it. If we create something of value that isn't unique, we're stuck competing through our prices. So here's the challenge. Use Kawasaki's matrix to identify one or two product ideas for each of those different quadrants, where you compare the value and the uniqueness together. In this activity, students are asked to identify a few products that combine uniqueness and value in a way that creates a recipe for success. This is meant to get students thinking outside of the box, focusing more on the subjective nature of value as perceived by customers. Please let us know how this lesson has helped your students see how America's free market economy plays an important role in their own entrepreneurial dreams. Thank you for watching iNSPIRE, powered by Economics Arkansas. And thanks to Stevens Inc. for their generous support that has made this resource possible. For additional iNSPIRE lesson plans or to discover additional professional development resources or classroom tools, visit economicsarkansas.org.